Here at the Pinjarra Placeway with top trainer Michael Brennan, and he's talking about his Horse of the Year win by the beloved I'm Victorious, and really it was a great scene on Sunday, Mousey, to see him really get an award that he deserves and a good way to end his career.
Yeah, absolutely, Matty. He thoroughly deserved the win. The most special thing was that the horse got the recognition. He had a fantastic season, and as you say, it's a good way to end his career.
To beat on the mighty Quinny made a late surge in his bid for the Horse of the Year. He had some great races, but it was good to see that the people really did remember back to the Summer Carnival and the spring for I'm Victorious. His wins, including beating on the mighty Quinn, were just outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, he did have a very good spring and a very good summer. A lot of feature races in there, and obviously a Miracle Mile berth and an Inter-Dominion final berth, which is, is a credit to the horse.
Happy to have him home, no doubt. How's his progress going with his tendon injury?
Yeah, look, it's fantastic to get him home. He's the rehab that he had done over in the east was second to none, and he's come back. He's a very happy horse. He's extremely happy to be home. Probably not more happy than I am. But yeah, look, his rehab's coming along good. He's very paddock sound, which is the most important thing, so he can live out the rest of his days as a very, very happy horse.
Now, the trip from Sydney, you've gone over by truck. You raised some money for some very special organisations, which you hold near and dear to your heart. Just talk about that trip and the money raised, how it's really helping a lot of people out.
Yeah, look, we decided that we'd go over and get him ourselves so that we could do what we had to do with him on the way home. And in doing that, we thought it was a good idea to give something back. The owners were fully supportive of all that. It was, a conjunction between the owners, myself, Lara, and Brad Groves. That we decided to raise funds for Standardbreds Australia Unharnessed. The rehoming of Standardbreds after they're finished racing is very, very important and high on my agenda and high on the agenda of all participants in the industry. And the other one is obviously 4 Tracks for Kids in memory of Nathan Berry, who was lost to us way too soon.
Indeed he was. You've raised some good money. I see the signs on the side of the float. He's still continuing to raise money even now he's returned?
Yeah, absolutely. We've still got people who are donating at this point in time, so we'll probably keep that going for another couple of weeks, and then we'll present our cheques to HRA and to 4 Tracks for Kids. Beautiful,
great news. We speak about I'm Victorious, and the perfectly named property that you're at is Victorious Lodge. Just talk about the staff and all the hard work that goes in to get some of these other horses up and running. You must be thrilled with the staff that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Lara's the keep in there. Her work ethic and her love of the horses is second to none. And Chris Plale, his role in the whole system is very much underplayed. He all the trips away that we've had with Snoop and the trip away to go and get Snoop, he's kept the team ticking along, and I'll never have any problems when I go away because I know everything's going to be done tickety-boo, and he's a quality young man, and I'm very, very fortunate to have him. And also you have so many other people that kick in along the way. Brad Groves' effort to take 4 days off work to come with us. It was a trip of a lifetime, but that's something that I'm never ever going to forget. And the amount of support that we get, through friends and family is, that's what keeps the things going.
Now in the stable, Snoop's just out there and just keeping all the other horses intact and letting them know that they've got to try and live up to his standards, which is nearly impossible. But you've got some reasonable types coming through. The horse right behind us is back on board, which he's quite a talented 4-year-old heading towards the Nugget, but you've also had one trial last Sunday, Pay Me Quick. She trialled quite well too. The turning over process in the stable, you've got some nice types coming through.
Yeah, absolutely, Matty. You've got to keep doing that. You've got to keep raising the bar to one, to keep up, and two to improve your stock. Back on board, yeah, he's heading towards the Nugget. Whether he measures up is going to be seen in the next month or so. But a very talented 4-year-old, and probably going to see better from him as a 5- and 6-year-old. Pay Me Quick's a nice mare that we had purchased from New Zealand, who was reasonably cheap, but I'm very happy with her. She's got a tricky little barrier on Saturday night, but we'll leave that up to Cody Waldrop to hopefully get the job done, seeing he's part owner.
And he'd be pretty happy even after the trial. Cody Waldrop was all smiles after that. The Inter-Dominions coming back to Perth, and also the Summer Carnival also is coming up. Have you got anything that is potentially coming over here to shape up?
Yeah, look, this time Dylan's back in work. Obviously he was very competitive in those races last year, running sixth in the Fremantle Cup and third in the Pacing Cup. So we'll see how he measures up. And from there, I've got a couple that I'm in the processes of trying to get from New Zealand. One for the Nugget, and we're looking at another one for the Derby. So very exciting. But you've got to keep trying to get these horses coming through the system. And a horse like Gives Me Chills has a chance of taking a step next time he comes back as well. He's still a little bit fragile. He's only a lightly raced horse, but there's a little bit there to work with.
And we speak about New Zealand horses and the purchasing them. It's getting harder now with nearly everyone buying New Zealand horses. You have to pay a fair deal of money to get some decent ones over here. How are you finding that process now?
Yeah, look, it is difficult, but the cheaper ones have done the job for me. Pay Me Quick, she was a very cheap mare. The flight was nearly as much as she was. So look, you can pick and choose. Obviously, the higher price horses are probably out of my ballpark a little bit, but if you can, every now and then one sneaks through the cracks, and you're just hoping that you get that one that sneaks through the cracks.
And you're hoping to get some big spenders as owners along the way. You've got a few good owners that have helped you get to here. You must be happy with some of the horses that are entering the stable through their wallets.
Yeah, absolutely. Without the owners, and I guess the most important thing there is that the owners can only afford to spend decent money on decent horses if we race for decent prize money. And thankfully in Perth, we're in a situation where we race for first class prize money, and let's just hopefully it continues forward over the next 18 months with a few decisions that are pending.
And without I'm Victorious in the stable, which is obviously a bit of pill to swallow, but just having him home so good. With the stable that you have at the moment, have you got any real goals set or aspirations set for the next season?
We do set goals. We try and better our season from last season. We finished in the top 10 in the state last year, so we're obviously trying to better that again this year. But the most important thing for me is that once the horses get in the system, that once they get up and racing, the owners don't have to put their hands in their pockets. That's the most important thing: consistency and making sure that every time they go out there, they're a fair income chance of earning.
Well, best of luck with your horses in the future, Mousy, and it's great to have Snoop home, and all the best with his rehabilitation. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, Matty.